18 mistakes you should definitely avoid in The Witcher 3 in 2023. Stay tuned for that. What's up, guys? My name is Franky Boy. On this channel I am covering everything regarding The Witcher, so please stay welcome and join the family for more tips and tricks, guides, etc. on The Witcher 3. And today, of course, dressed in my Witcher shirt. It isn't available in the shop anymore, sadly. I get these questions a lot, so you can't buy it right now. Alright, some tips and tricks for you guys restarting the game in 2023, maybe early 24. We got some changes from the next gen update and I want to get you guys into the boat as soon as possible and as quickly as I can. Tip number 1, always remember how your inventory works. We have those categories. The first one is weapon and armor. We have oils, potions and bombs, and you need to know that potions also includes decoctions. They are the strong potions that last for a long time, as well as the potion of clearance, it appears here as well, for the respec, and the potion of restoration, of course. Then we have the food and drink and also the roach updates. And one thing is very important about the quest items and other, because in the other direction there can also be some quest items. Alright, here for example the pouch filled with florins, it's needed for a quest. Last, crafting and alchemy. Tip number 2 is totally check out all my other guides on The Witcher 3 on the channel. I have a playlist on the topic, also on how to become rich, the top 3 builds after the next gen update, and so on and so forth. So please feel free to browse through my playlists. And I have 23 videos on The Witcher 3 so far, so feel free to check it out. Tip number 3, if you want to play on the hardest difficulty that is called Death March, please note that. If you later then go into the options and change the gameplay difficulty to Death March, then you will not get a trophy or the Steam award for it. Alright, so if you want to finish the game on Death March and want the trophy, you need to definitely make sure that you have this setting turned on right from the start, right? Also works for New Game Plus, by the way. Looting and leveling is key, of course, in The Witcher 3, and you need to make sure to collect anything you find right from the start. So I would suggest you guys to collect everything that you can. If you want to, you can easily install an auto loot mod to make sure to get anything from those enemies. But yeah, that's a very important part for you to pick up everything. You will later on then get a problem with your inventory if you don't have a mod like I do. Back then in the last gen I had the over 9000 mod, which gave you over 9000 inventory space. Now I have the zero weight mod, which reduces the weight of every item to 0. Or well, it doesn't reduce the weight of the item, but as you can see I have 0 used. If you don't have that mod because you're playing on console or don't want the mod, there is an awesome tip for you, of course, using the stash. It's found in Krau's Perch, you have one in Novigrad and one in every important region of the game. For example, here in the guest house where you are first in White Orchard. Besides that, you need to know that certain traders are used for certain sales. For example, innkeepers are perfect for selling stuff like leather and eatables, etc. I don't think it's called eatable, is it called? It's called food, right? I think this is a drug or so. Oh man, that escalated quickly. Of course, use those armorers, those forges to sell any swords you find. They have a lot of weight, but they are very expensive, so always make use of the perfect traders for the perfect items you have in your inventory to sell. Tip number 6, theft can be punished. Stealing stuff from NPCs, you know, sometimes there's just stuff laying around, you scan the area and, you know, okay, these guys are really poor, they don't have anything, which is a bad example. But sometimes there's loot in those houses, etc. And when there is a guard around, he will probably punish you for the theft. Keep that in mind before stealing stuff from guys. This might be an example, this could belong to those guys, and I don't see a single guard around, so you will not be punished by those normal NPCs, I'd say. One nice tip for you guys, if you have the auto loot mod on PC, it will not automatically loot the stuff if it is a theft. If it is recognized as theft, I should say it that way. So that can keep you alive. Tip number 7 is a time management. Time management is super important in The Witcher, not only because of your potions, decoctions, etc. You of course get poisoned, your potions and decoctions, they fill up after resting or meditating. And you do that simply by going into this wheel and then pressing space, or going to the inventory and then switching to the meditation mode. The great thing as well is you can switch to golden and blue hour and always have a look at the beautiful landscape from The Witcher 3 in the best lighting scenario possible. Right now the sun is very low. Same counts of course for blue hour when the sun is just rising. Those are those times of the day where the world is the most beautiful. And in the real world, photographers would get up early, hike up to a mountain and then wait until blue hour or golden hour to get the perfect shot of a thing, or a landscape of course. And I find myself in the position where I very often change the time to those time windows to have that beautiful landscape in the best looking way. Oh wow, there's a wolf. I still feel like this world is super alive, even compared to some other recent games, some recent open world games. I think this is extremely alive. Oh, and by the way, if you guys were asking why is your stamina not depleting, it's a bug. I have that since the next gen update. When I patched it up to the next gen update, I eventually got infinite stamina, and while this is trash for a normal playthrough, it's really nice and convenient for my videos, because that way I can swirl around and talk into the camera. Alright, next up, a tip for roach. By the way, roach is called Plötze in Germany. Plötze, heya. The best thing right here is, I can tell you, just go to a normal way and then go into the gallop mode, and it won't deplete the stamina. Why is that? You're in auto riding mode, like on the same paths that NPCs would ride on if there is a certain route or a patrol, and that way you can just auto ride through everything. Oh wow, I've found a new marker? Holy crap. I mean, I think this is my third playthrough, but it's crazy to still find new stuff. So this might be a use case for you to just simply auto walk with Roach. Maybe use some stick to hold your controller or your keyboard down and let Roach do the rest. It will at some point stop if there is no way to follow anymore. It's not a smart routing system, it's just simply an auto follow path, but it's very convenient in my opinion. And if you don't have any fast travel point in a route you want to head, that's super nice. Oh, and by the way, I made a video on this area. You can actually glitch into it, and I think it's called like no one or almost no player has been in here. It's super easy. Just simply go here where I am at this tent. It's right here, and then you gotta do the trick, jump up here and then jump down here. Oh no, I failed. Maybe I can get through there. Yep. And there we are in the forbidden area. Sadly, there will be dragons and we will be turned back automatically. And it's funny because those tents, they are disappearing the closer we get. Normally it's the other way around. Alright, now I'm stuck. Let's get the auto port out of here. It doesn't work. What the heck? I've never been so deep into this. You reach the world's edge. Now it's working. Using the super convenient Krau's Perch Castle Village waypoint, it's awesome. You unlock it later on when there is like the Baron's guy here. The next tip is tip number 9. Always get those repair kits from the forge, from the smith. But there's one thing even more important. Always prefer repairing at the blacksmith. It is way cheaper and the best thing you can do. Second best thing is of course crafting. Going into the tools tab and then crafting those repair kits, of course, of the best rarity you can craft. This master item is always the best choice for that. And then you can repair your stuff midway in the desert of Skellige. I don't think it's a snowy desert though. Tip number 11. Let's quickly move on to the oils. Oils are often underestimated. You find them here as stated before, and some oils even can be applied to both weapons, like the superior beast oil. Make sure not to drop any oil, it can't be replaced later on. And it's not only offensive buff, but can also be defensive buff. You go to the characters and can get protective coating. 15% protection against attacks from the monster type the oil targets. And that's awesome. So oil is offensive and can be defensive. What a joy. Great thing to use and to keep in mind, of course. Tip number 12. Best talent for beginners still is gourmet. I think Americans call it gourmet, right? But it's actually a French word and it's called gourmet. And this will make your food last for 20 minutes. This is insane. Well, The reason why it has been nerfed is it was too good. Back then, the food would last like 30 seconds, 20 seconds and have more vitality regeneration. Now it has a longer vitality regeneration duration, but less vitality per tick, I would say. So right now, this will last 20 minutes. Back then it was like 30 vitality per tick for 20 minutes. Now it's 15, still the main. If you don't want that talent, I would totally suggest you guys to just simply eat the food anyways and use the superior swallow. As you can see from my inventory, later on we will never need food again because we just have the swallow. We simply use that potion and then we meditate to fill it up again. It's super important. And you can see 150 vitality regeneration. It's much better than 15. But yeah, you can early on very easily use the gourmet and then regenerate mid-fight. It's super important. The poison meter, I didn't understand it back then when I started The Witcher 3. I just simply put in the poisons and the potions which poisoned me, and then I got to a certain level of poisoning that I lost health. And I was sad about it and I cried the whole day until I found out I could meditate to remove it. I told you that before, but there's even a better thing to do first, because you need to understand that you have a certain threshold where the overdose kicks in. That threshold naturally is 50%, but you can increase it with heightened tolerance to 80%. Why is that important? You can fill up your poison meter to 100%, no problem, but you will lose life as soon as you cross the threshold of 50%, like at 51%, then you will get damage until it's back at 50%. You can increase that to 80, so now it can be at 80% and you won't get any damage, but you still can drink poisons or potions until the poison meter reaches 100%. That's no problem, but you will then receive damage. It's a little bit complicated to get at first, but if you once understand it, you will think it's very easy. You can increase that level by that. And acquired tolerance is one of the best talents in the whole alchemy tree. You need to get it if you like to use potions or decoctions anyways. Totally get that. Quick recap on the sign. Quen, best sign in general, in my opinion, gives you a protective shield, also has an alternate modus which looks very nice. Igni, best offensive spell, simply a wave of fire. Art is perfect for crowd control because you can get those harpies down on the ground, flying monsters down on the ground with it. You don't need to use your crossbow. And also, this is possible to get those riders down from the horse. So feel free to use it to knock some enemies back and to get some control into those crowds. That's what it's doing. Same up for Axi. It's mind controlling one enemy, especially nice against shield guys. So Axi perfect for shield guys. And of course for dialogue options in the story. And last but not least, we have Irden. And Irden is perfect for fighting those ghosts. They will simply go into the runes and be slowed. Also, they will receive more damage when stepping into the runes. Perfect match for ghosts that Geralt doesn't like. And yeah, he quite hates a few things in the world, especially portals. Tip number 15, use the area to your advantage. What a lot of you guys seem to forget or sometimes forget is you can use your environment to your advantage. One simple example is this. Let's go to this house. Yeah, I can use the door, right? Oh, it's locked. If you encounter a group of enemies, you can simply go through a door, go through just any choke point, it's called, right? Anything small, and you will encounter only one enemy at the time. You can simply just hold your ground here and fight against one enemy. It's much easier to then parry, etc. that one guy instead of a whole group. Another super nice trick is of course to knock those enemies down, for example into the water, from a bridge, down a cliff, etc, etc. Oh, and by the way, did you guys know that there's a second bridge in Cross Perch? I got this comment under a video that someone didn't have it even though he completed anything, and this is the second bridge at Cross Perch that has been destroyed, and they simply build up another one. And if you sprint, you can then easily jump over and enter Cross Perch. I think this place is such a beautiful place, even though it's destroyed. It's simply medieval European castle style. I love that. Right, let's quickly search for a monster's nest. There's one, of course, at Benek. And the best tip I can give you regarding those monster nesters, nests is if you destroy them. Sometimes there will still be a wave spawning. Let's see. Nope, don't loot anything or everything about out of the nest. Simply take everything besides one item and you leave it in there, and then you go away and meditate for a week, and the monster nest will be back again for you to farm and loot. So you can easily do that and use it as a trick for getting infinite monsters loot. Especially useful if you go into the Blood and Wine DLC. Alright, let's check out Toussaint. I think it was in the south here somewhere. Yep. For example, this monster nest, you can farm those mutagens infinitely if you take out everything besides one item. So such a nice tip and a thing to know to really optimize those monster nests right from the start. And why are you dead? I'm sorry for you. Yeah, talking about mutagens, keep them in mind because it's not very clear from the start. It's like a 5th skill, but it's not. We have 3 different ones. We have the green ones, they grant vitality. We have the blue ones, they grant sign intensity. Your signs become better. Please note there is a threshold for sign intensity. If it is surpassed, your signs won't be better anymore. I think it's at 350 or so. And we have the attack power, and I would say attack power is quite the best thing to put in. Always combine it with the perfect perks, the perfect skills, and then it will multiply the damage. As you can see on the left hand side we have 60% attack power, on the right hand side we have 45% attack power because there's one green item in it. 15% without anything. So combine it and you will be very strong. I would generally recommend using attack power. Tip number 18, how to level up fast. I have a few guides on how to level fast. Feel free to check those out. But generally speaking, the best thing to do is, of course, let's quickly go to the quest log. You won't be spoiled. I still have one main quest left, and it's the Hearts of Stone DLC. I somehow always dodge the Hearts of Stone DLC. It's a nice DLC, no question, but it's so scary. It's like a horror movie. Simply doing the main quest will be the best way for you guys to level up quickly. Alright, and that's it for today. I hope you learned a little bit, freshed up your knowledge about The Witcher for a little bit. And yeah, I will speak to you in the next video about The Witcher 3. The game I love most, and that's why I started this channel on The Witcher 3, so feel free and welcome. Maybe I will speak to you in the next video. Stay subscribed for more info, and also check out this video where I told you why you should definitely play The Witcher 3 in 2023, and this video that is recommended to you. Maybe you will like it, maybe you won't. See you in the next one. Greetings, your Don't. Don't is not my name. No, goodbye anyway.